Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome back to the second installment of Tapping Tuesdays. We're just going to go ahead and start out with just some tapping and talking because we can, and that's why we're here. So we're just going to go ahead and start on top of the head, and just feel free to tap along because depending on where you're tuning in from, maybe it's your morning, maybe it's your afternoon, and it's possible you just might need kind of a break, a chance to chill out. So this is a great way to relieve whatever may be coming up for you and just get a little bit of calm and relief in your day. So we're just going to go through a little bit of tapping right here in the beginning so that I can tell you what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're continuing on last week's topic of goals, right? So basically the big takeaway was that if we really want to achieve big things for ourselves, it's kind of necessary to address whatever is standing in the way. So specifically energetically and emotionally, things that perhaps have never been addressed before or are unresolved. Often these things create obstacles or hurdles for us, unfortunately, and make it a little bit harder to do the things that we want to do. So we're going to be continuing on with that topic today. So we can just go ahead and let that go. Nice, easy breath in through the nose and blowing out through the mouth. Okay, so just as a tip, reminder, helpful idea for you, if ever in your day you just feel like, I just need like a timeout for myself, go ahead and just tap through the points and take a nice, slow, deep breath at each point and slow it down, because honestly that brings you from here to here, and it's really incredible how it really calms you down in a very fast way. But in contrast, it's amazing how we can use EFT tapping for not only a stress reliever that we can do on our own as a way, a tool for self-soothing, but also as a way to achieve things or, improve things in our lives. So it doesn't have to be a focus on negative things, but rather things that are positive. So hence the subject of goals. So getting into it now. How do we even identify what I am calling energetic and emotional cobwebs? Or another way to, I guess, go about thinking this is, how do we even start to allow ourselves to begin to see the dirt in our proverbial house, right? So taking it back to the quote that I shared last week by Louise Hay, saying, if we want to clean the house, we have to allow ourselves to see the dirt, which makes sense, right? You're not going to, move a bunch of new furniture into your house if it's dirty, right? So it's the same kind of thing here on the inside. So let's go ahead and put our adventure hats on because we are about to do some exploring today. So first, I invite you to think of your goal. So, it's possible that many of us have multiple goals, but just think of one right now and so try to tune into, how do you want to feel when you have achieved it? So what is the feeling that you think it's going to bring you? So go ahead and think about that. Sometimes it's helpful to close your eyes and just kind of try to drop in and notice what comes up for you, if anything, right? And there's no right or wrong here. Maybe you notice something, maybe you don't. So for example, I did this ahead of time, so I knew what the exercise was. But maybe you want to feel accomplished or more confident, healthier, happier, less stressed, lighter even, right? So if you have a lot on your plate right now, maybe it feels heavy and you just want that to kind of dissipate, right? So these are things to notice, and definitely kind of lock that feeling in, right? Or jot it down even, because we'll be coming back to that later on. Okay, so we've already established now that there's a certain way we want to feel once we reach our goal. Now we have to kind of spin it and think about right now where we are in our lives right now in relation to the chosen goal, right? But currently, right now, how do we feel about our lives in relation to this goal? So again, you can go ahead, if it's safe for you to do so, close your eyes, just kind of let yourself sink into your chair if you're seated, and just kind of think about, okay, this is where I am. I'm here, I want to be there, but right now I'm feeling what? What am I feeling that makes me want to be in this other place? And this is really important information, and there is no right, there's no wrong. It's just collecting info that we can use to help navigate what we need to do and to work on, and where the cobwebs are, so to speak. So I guess I'll give you some examples of things that when I do this for myself, some things that I notice that come up. So maybe you can relate. If it resonates with you, that's awesome. Let me know somehow, like in the comment or some sort of reaction that that it allows. But okay, so thinking about where I am right now, this is how I'm feeling. Maybe there's some fear, discouragement, doubt, anxiousness, or maybe some uncertainty around moving forward. And these are all totally normal, and it's possible, that maybe you're like, no way, I don't feel bad, I just want to feel better. And if that's the case, that's great. But there usually is something that's going to tip us off as to what might be a catch in terms of moving forward. So here's something else. It may not be like an actual identifiable emotion. There may be a physical sensation in your body that you notice. So for example, do you feel a heaviness somewhere in your body, tightness, tingling, pressure? So I'll give you an example from my own experience, because sometimes that's helpful. I know starting out it can be challenging to allow yourself to feel things. But for me, I generally have a lot of sensations in my solar plexus here and in the chest. So I'll often get pressure or heaviness, things like that. But oftentimes, I hear from clients who feel tingles in their legs or other parts of the body. So everyone is different. And I'm just trying to highlight this to encourage you to just notice. Try to notice what's going on if you feel anything. And if you don't worry. It's okay, because that is where I would bring in tapping. So if you were thinking oh, Sonia, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not noticing anything, that's okay. So what I would do in that case, bring in some tapping. And so we have a couple options here. We can keep it very, very basic and simple. If maybe you're just flat across the board, meaning I didn't notice any emotions, I didn't notice any changes in my body, any sensations, then it might be the best place to start with just tapping for a few minutes and thinking about the goal, thinking about right now, how am I feeling about this, and just see what comes up. Okay, so that's our option one, just tapping without saying anything, just giving thought to where we want to be and where we are right now and kind of how we feel about that. Okay, option two is we can kind of add the because game to our tapping, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. So basically what we're going to do is identify, or not identify, but voice our goal. So this, again, it can be spoken or internal. You can say it in your head or voice out loud. I personally believe it's a little bit more impactful if we verbalize the words, the thoughts, because that is oftentimes challenging, but it has such huge rewards. So I encourage you to do that if it's a safe place for you to do that. All right, so I'm going to give you an example, and certainly if you have your goal in your mind right now, go ahead and say what is true for you. So whatever I say is an example for me, and then you'll repeat, but it will be whatever is your goal. Okay, so changing the words as needed is what I mean to say. Okay, so starting on the top of the head, I'm just going to say, okay, what is my goal? My goal of making X amount of money in a month by the end of March. Okay, and then we'll move on to the eyebrow points, and I'm going to ask myself, okay, I might not reach this goal because, okay, why might I not reach this goal? Well, I might not reach this goal because I might not get enough customers. Okay, I might not get enough customers because, moving down for our answer, and this you may have to think about for a while, and that's totally fine. Okay, why wouldn't I get enough customers? Because my business isn't visible enough. Okay, and my business isn't visible enough because, moving down to the collarbone points, it's because I haven't been putting out enough information. Okay, we're getting somewhere now, down below the arms. Okay, and I haven't been putting out information because, okay, why is that? Top of the head. Well, because it's scary to put myself out there. Okay, so now we're getting into it, right? Okay, it's scary to put myself out there because, okay, hard questions, but we have to be honest with ourselves. Why is it scary? Because maybe people won't be interested in what I'm offering, or there won't be any engagement at all, and that feels like rejection. Okay, so we're gonna pause here, and I just want to highlight, okay, like that's kind of like the aha when we get to like an emotion. So we got to a fear, but we can ask more questions. Why? Where's the fear coming from, right? Why are you afraid? Then in my example, and honestly, this is real life. So I'm doing this right along with you. I'm not like just saying these are the steps. I'm in it with you. So I just want that to be clear. But once we get down, so we break down, okay, there is a fear here. What is causing it? Oh, it's a fear of rejection. So we can stop there, right? We can stop there and then start working with that root in motion, because that is, it may not necessarily be the like the bulb of the plant, so to speak, but it's a solid starting point for us to get curious about why this fear exists. Where did it come from, right? And I want to point out that it may not be a specific emotion that comes up for you. Like you may not be able to identify like, oh, I'm scared of this, or I I feel like I'm not good enough. Maybe that doesn't come up for you, and that's okay. It is okay. It's possible that you will feel something in your body, like maybe you feel a like pressure or tightness in your throat. That's something. Maybe you feel something in your shoulder, or a heaviness in your chest. These are all super valuable pieces of information that lay a foundation of where we can start to actually dig in a gentle and safe way and begin to clear it out, right? Clear out the cobwebs so that we can open that path for an easy march up onto our goals, right? So I also just want to note real quick, if you spend some time, I don't know, maybe you'll set a timer or something, like 2-3 minutes, just tapping, tapping and thinking, so to speak, works wonders. But if you do that and you notice you're getting emotional, like maybe there's tears that are coming, that's normal. It is completely normal. And my advice is let them come. I mean, if it's a safe space for you to do that, like just let it out, because I think we all can agree it takes so much more energy to hold in tears than it does to release them. And crying is an amazingly easy and quick way to release energy that the body needs to get out. So it's not anything to be embarrassed about, although it seems like we've sort of been conditioned to think that, but that is not actually true. You know, it's a healthy thing to do. And so I'm just saying this to make sure that if you experience something like that, you're not freaking out and be like, what's happening? Like, you know, it's normal. It's normal. And if you have concerns or questions, please do reach out. I am here to help, and I'm here to share this information with you, because in my experience, you know, I can only share from my own experience. It's been life-changing, honestly. And so that's why I want to share it with all of you beautiful people. So I'm going to try to keep it short here today. We're going to kind of cap it there. But really trying to take some time out of your day, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes to just give yourself some time to take a seat and think about, you know, your goal, how you feel, how you want to feel rather when you reach that. Kind of lock that feeling into your body so that we can come back to it later on. Then we're going to think about how we're feeling now in this current moment, right? In relation to that goal, like, I'm in this place and it's not really doing it for me. What are these feelings that make me want to make a change or shift in some way? Okay. And then if we're not able to identify that, we'll whip out the tapping. And even, you know, while you're thinking, just tap and think, things come up. It's amazing. So basically my recommended action for you is to take a little bit of time to do those things, to think about what is coming up for you. Is it, if it's physical or if it's a identifiable emotion, and then from there we can start getting more curious and investigating where those sensations or emotions are really coming from. Okay. Also, I don't know if I can stress this enough. Don't be afraid of tears. Full disclosure, I cry all the time when I do tapping. And at some point I decided this might be a measure of success. That's a different story. But anyway, if tears come out, you are in good company and you're okay. It's okay. It's not bad. Okay, so that's it from me today. We're going to continue this next week. If you would like to clean house a little bit faster, so to speak, or if you just have questions, please send me a message so that we can talk about it and see how I can help you further for your specific need or goal. So with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you for your attention, and I'm excited to continue this next week with you. So until then, have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and keep shining.